Hello, good people, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be here with you guys today. I hope everybody's having an amazing day, and I hope this video finds you in the best spirit and that just, everything is going great. But today I really wanted to come talk about boundaries because in my life right now, I've been going through so many different transitions with friends and with family, and I really had to step up my boundary game. I really had to be like, you know what? Enough is enough. This is what makes me feel comfortable. This is what makes me feel uncomfortable. So today I wanted to talk all about that and just my experience and how it's been going, setting these boundaries and etc., etc. So let's just get right into it. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is being a yes woman, like not being a yes woman basically, and understanding that it's okay to say no. Like, I am naturally so uncomfortable with saying no because I love to help people. I love to give. I love to feel wanted. And that's like all about me, right? Like that's all like I want to feel wanted. I want to feel liked. So I need to like say yes to people and do things for people because that's how I'm going to feel wanted and that's how I'm going to be liked, but not necessarily respected. And we want to be respected. And that's where being able to say no is so important. And ultimately it's a self-respect thing. Like being able to say no is understanding your own time, is understanding what you can do, what you have the capacity to keep hold to. So when it comes to me, like with my family and friends, I like to I've overextended, and now it's like I see the repercussions because then I'm lacking on things I need to do. I'm not getting the work I need to do done. I constantly feel distracted. I constantly feel overwhelmed, and you did it to yourself because you took on so many obligations and so many things that you didn't have to do, and you could have just said no in the beginning, and now look at you, and then it sets you up for failure, and it sets you up to be more of a disappointment, and then guess what, you end up disappointing people, and now you're back at square one in the fact that you could have just said no from the beginning. And if they respect you and if they love you, they're going to respect your no, and they're gonna put themselves accordingly. And someone who doesn't respect your no, that's a clear indication that they want to just take advantage of you, that they're a user, and you shouldn't maybe be extending yourself to that person too. But we have to teach people how to treat us, right? We have to show people what we're gonna put up with. So if we don't have any boundaries in our own lives, then how are we going to establish boundaries with someone else? And in establishing boundaries with other people, make sure you're establishing boundaries with yourself. So just something like I've been doing, I told myself, you know what, I don't want to watch. I really don't want to. And congratulations to me, I just went my first month without like anything, like without watching the P at all, and being single and not having any partner and not watching I thought it was just going to be a huge challenge. But what TD Jakes Roberts, shout out to TD Jakes Roberts, what she said is that I love and it really resonated with me. It's not about being tempted to do something. It's not about the temptation. It's about your resistance for the temptation. So we can even take that back to the being a yes woman. It's not like maybe I'll never get over like, feeling like I'm disappointing somebody or something like that, but it's about being able to still have boundaries even with that feeling. So that's a big one. You don't have to say yes to everything. No means no, and know your no's in all situations, whether it be in relationships, with family, with friends. Like, know your boundaries and know what, be able to say no when something doesn't suit you and it doesn't resonate with your spirit. You can help too. You can say yes and not overextend. That's a big one too. Like, you don't have to, just because your friend may need some place to stay, you can still help her. Like, you can go look for apartments with her. You can recommend other people to her. That doesn't necessarily mean that she needs to come stay with you. So that's the thing too. Like, you don't have to overextend yourself. You can participate. You can help your friends celebrate their birthday without planning the birthday dinner. You can be there to support your sister that has children without constantly feeling like you're babysitting the kids, or taking in the children if she may need help. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a place in time where you can help people and extend yourself without overextending yourself. You can go out with your girls without being the one to buy the bottle and pick everybody up and do everybody's hair and makeup. Like, do what you can and set a boundary on what you cannot do. Yes, I can come to the birthday dinner, but I only have X amount of money that I want to spend this month because I need to reach my savings goals. So this is what I can do, and this is what I can't do. So being clear about where the boundary is and still being able to help and not overextending yourself is going to help you so much, and it's going to keep you feeling rejuvenated, revived, because you're not going to be overpouring yourself and overextending yourself, because you've set those boundaries and you know your limitations, and now everyone is just here to respect that. A big one in setting boundaries is letting go of the nice girl mentality. I touched on this one just a little bit earlier, but like letting go of the nice girl mentality and understanding that there's a difference between being nice and being kind. You want to be a kind person. You want to be a person of God, keep God first, do as the Lord would do, but that doesn't necessarily mean being nice. Sometimes you have to deliver those hard messages to people while you're setting those boundaries, and sometimes setting those boundaries with people is actually doing them more justice than you would be just being their yes man and being their enablers. Because when we have a lack of boundaries, we are oftentimes becoming someone else's enabler. If you don't tell them that they have to get off your couch and get a job, if you don't tell them that, hey, me providing you with all this unhealthy food, or me constantly picking up the bill for you, or me allowing you to stay here, or me, you enter your ex in the place, but oftentimes we think we're being so nice to people, and we're not doing what's best for them by letting them overstep our boundaries. So really understand that there's a difference. You can still be a nice person and have your nose. You can still be a kind person and have your nose. You can still be a kind person and a nice person and have your how far you're willing to extend. And the people that love you again and respect you and that need and that are in alignment with where you're trying to go are going to understand that, because they're also going to have boundaries for you. And then being the nice girl doesn't make you better than anyone. Like, being the girl who everyone feels like they can depend on and like, yeah, that's all good, but be a nice person to you first. Be a kind person to you first. And then I feel like you'll know where your limits are set. Don't set yourself out there to be like, I'm gonna, everyone's gonna like me, like everyone's gonna like me. Like, some people didn't even like Jesus. People don't even like prophets, so everyone's not gonna like you. And most of the times when you're standing for what's really right and standing for your real truth, you're gonna, like, people aren't gonna always like you. So when you're out here just like for the likability of it all, it's not gonna work out. So don't do things to be liked, do things to be respected, and then do things as you feel like in your godly self, like as your higher self would do them and as God would present it to you. Because you'll end up in situations because you just said yes, 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 and then you're looking around like, whoa, how did I even end up here? And you're not in a good situation, you're not where you really want to be, and you're not even in alignment with anything that has to do with you, all because you were trying to satisfy like what other people thought. And people's emotions are fleeting, and people can only see you as far as you see them yourself. So make sure you're being your best self, you're presenting your best you, so then people can just, people will adjust, people will be there. And who's supposed to be for you in your life, Lord knows they're going to be for you. They're going to be there. Another huge one, oh my God, a huge one in setting boundaries is, like I said, setting boundaries with yourself, but then with that being said, keeping promises to yourself, keeping your word to yourself. If you tell yourself you're going to do something, you got to do it. Just like you go up above and beyond for X, Y, and Z, and that person can count on you for everything, and you never let them down, and da 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 da. What about you? Like, when was the last time you said you were going to do something and you just said, oh, I don't need to do that, you know, pushing off things that you want to do for yourself? Like, let you be the main person you never want to let down. Because when you're not, and you like constantly fleet on things that you say you're going to do for yourself, that tears down your own self-esteem. And as you do better, you're going to be building up your own self-esteem, and then people are going to know, oh, I'm not going to check her wrong because that girl is on her stuff. Like, that girl is not playing with us. Like, I'm not going to disappoint her because she is going to get it for herself regardless. Like, you know, you want to be that person, not the person like everybody's like, oh, well, you know, they always, you know, the one that people don't mind being the bare minimum for. So don't be the bare minimum to yourself. And you know, most of these principles with everything in life, it really goes back to you and your higher self and your higher God and whoever you believe in, you know, in developing these things. So read, meditate, pray on it to really establish like what is the you, like what is authentically you, and then everything else is going to fall into accordance the way it's supposed to be from there. And this is my own personal one, because I think it reigns true. Like, don't do for other people what you wouldn't ask anybody ever to do for you. You know, if you're not really a person that's ever going to be like, oh, I need to come stay with you for X amount of time, and you know, cool, like that's fine to like need a place to stay or like to lean on your friends. But if you know that if you're staying with somebody, you're going to be getting up early to help them do things, you're going to be looking, you know, like really on your stuff, don't let somebody come sit their butt on your couch and not do right and not do anything and not make moves and just kind of use you. Like, don't be used. Like, if you're not going to be using somebody, don't allow yourself to be used. If you're going to see people feel uncomfortable and you ask them, if you're asking for something from somebody that makes them uncomfortable and you can see it and you would leave it alone, don't let someone see you get uncomfortable about what they're asking you for and you don't, you know, you let it be. And you know, like stand up. Like, you don't have to be an aggressive person about it. You don't have to even, you know, you could just simply say, no, I'm not comfortable with that. It's a no for me because it makes me feel uncomfortable. And what I started asking people too is like, why do you ask, or the why, so that maybe they can, like, you know, like let them talk to themselves about situations or like the things that they may be asking of you. Like, let them really understand, like, well, why are you asking me of this? Like, why do you want this? So that's what I have been like changing in my life. Like, okay, would she ever like ask somebody to do that? Would I ever ask somebody to come pick me up, drop me off, take me here, take me there, and not give them no gas money? No, I would never do that. So I'm not gonna go do all that for somebody else and them not, you know, give me anything, you know. And of course, be generous, have generosity, but have discernment too. And no, you know, don't let your generosity go in vain. Often, you know, I feel like the best generosity is really like someone who can't do for themselves, you know. But if you see somebody that like could really do it for themselves but they choose not to, or you know, there might be, you know, some people are just going through a temporary moment, just have discernment, because you don't want to get taken advantage of, and you don't want to make yourself feel bad because you're burnt out, you're being taken advantage of, and then you look up and you feel without and empty and stuff because of your own actions. So that's basically what I'm saying. Like, make sure you're establishing healthy boundaries across the board with yourself first of all. So that's keeping your own word to yourself, making sure the things that you set out to do you're doing for yourself, and really that's a boundary. You're not going to go past that. And then of course with other people, and then your loved ones, because sometimes it's so hard to set those boundaries with the people that we love because we love them. But if they love us, they're going to respect our boundaries, and it might take a little getting used to, but boundaries are good. Just like children love discipline is good. Communication is good. Ultimately it's for the good. So sometimes it might be a little bit hard in the initial stages, but once you get it turning and you're like boom boom boom, and you know, because clarity, if you make things clearer, the clearer the better. So setting boundaries just sets clarity, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm going to continue to set out to keep my boundaries clear and this week, you know, set a new, if you feel like you haven't set a boundary with somebody, set a new boundary. Say it in a nice way. Be tactful about it. You know, be kind about it. You don't have to be rude to someone else or condescending to anybody else, but communication is key, and it's not what you say, it's how you say it most of the time. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Let's get into it, period. Subscribe to my channel and like and comment too.